Alright, let's see it.
Oh.
Please be something good.
I had to pull up the wheel for this one. I wasn't sure.
Spin the wheel!
Wait, what? No fucking shot. Did I actually get it this time? No.
They faked out Undertale last time, too.
Fake out too? Holy shit, I have so much to talk about this time. Oh my god. I get to talk about Undertale!
Insane.
So ready?
Underrated quality is that you get to add music.
Yeah.
There actually isn't
I
much in
wish
this
I
one.
could
I
do.
had to skimp out.
Oh.
Oh?
Oh my god, you cuck.
Oh, the
This
donation
dialogue was
voice
fun to put
back
together.
him.
Oh, he's so fun. I love Fly.
I'll make
There
sure.
will be something on him at some point. That's a promise.
God damn it! I was so excited!
We have so many fake outs!
Well, hold on,
Oh my
hold on.
God.
You might like what it is about.
What?
You know what? It has nothing to do with my presentation, but it has everything to do with mine. For orders of magnitude longer than our universe
Yeah.
has existed, one being
Yeah, that's right.
What?
This eccentric equilateral has made his mark on many
Something no one would have ever
timeless.
expected.
So who is this
What
fellow?
in the
And
fucking
what is his
plot
story?
twist?
Well, to find out,
What the fuck?
join me in exploring the history and the mystery.
This intro was really fun to put together.
Was this teased because you were the one to say, like...
Because Bill's laugh was for TEDY's presentation, not mine!
I got
It
to make
was-
a cameo, specifically recording myself going, and you know what? It's not about my presentation. Because it's about
Just
Teddy.
to have it pull into mine.
Just to have it, yeah.
Oh my god. We're reaching meta levels.
Yes, we are.
Meta levels
I
of
explicitly
fake
said
out.
Teddy made
Holy
that
shit.
teaser. Bill was my presentation topic from the very start.
This is a lie that has been weeks in the making, and you all fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Everyone thought that Bill was Atomic's presentation. It never was. It was me from the fucking start. And conceptually, to me, that's hilarious. Anyway, with that being said, now we can begin the presentation properly. Megamind is a villain I hold a massive amount of respect for. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not
I thought I'd put one more.
I gave this presentation on Flowey from Undertale, and believe me, I will do a presentation on Undertale if I get the chance, but Bill just has so much going for him that I had to make this presentation about him specifically. I love Bill because I love villains that are well written. Gravity Falls is probably one of the best written cartoons I've ever watched, and Alex Hirsch knocks it out of the park with each and every one of his performances he does across the entire series. When I say that Bill is a well-written villain, that in of itself is kind of an oxymoron. Throughout the series and any media outside the series, Bill manages to somehow fall into this weird in-between state where a ton is known about him, and yet simultaneously, fucking nothing is known about him. The whole of Gravity Falls is based on mystery and speculation, with so much hitting.
I love this image, by the way. Every single end card put together.
Of course, this extends to Bill throughout the series as well, with his presence being seen throughout the entirety of the show, with most information about him being speculative at best. I'm going to go over the concrete facts we do know about Bill in this video, as well as what he does throughout Gravity Falls, with some bits at the end to discuss his other appearances outside of the show and what those appearances mean for his character. So, with that being said, let's begin by diving into the plot of the show and seeing where this fella turns up.
I love the Animal Crossing music.
From the show from the first episode. I might be speaking in
It ends immediately
because
when
he
you
doesn't
say
actually appear directly in the first episode.
You shouldn't have said anything.
The audio quality is a little
Some
soft.
through the Cypher Zodiac wheel that you see at the end of
Yes,
every
someone's
show
gonna be
intro.
doofy.
More on that later. As for each episode of the show itself, mainly just for people who haven't seen it, the premise generally consists of two siblings named Dipper and Mabel who go spend the summer with their great uncle Stan in the town of Gravity Falls, Oregon, where each episode shows the shenanigans that the two get into while navigating the weirdness of the town. Stan also runs a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack, which is basically a large shack in the woods that acts as our main setting for the series, where Stan cons the townsfolk that visit the place by selling them overpriced merchandise and giving tours to convince them that the supernatural nonsense is real for a profit. There is nothing deeper to the plot of this show or the town of Gravity Falls. The town's just a little weird, that's it. The one thing I will add is that Gravity Falls lies squarely within a thin barrier between dimensions in the multiverse, allowing things from other universes to spill into it and infest the town with what's basically the equivalent of a bunch of SCPs. Something to note, too, the town has an invisible barrier surrounding it that, while unaffected by regular things and people, forces every anomalous creature and whatever the hell else is in Gravity Falls to stay within the confines of the town. This fact, coupled with a secret society that works to erase the townsfolk's memories of weird occurrences they experience and are frightened by, pretty much leaves the town as a standalone spot in the world where everything is thought to be normal, even though it's not. Got it? Cool. Now, regarding Bill himself, he'd had his sights on Earth for millennia before the actual events of the show unfold. Eventually, he discovered Gravity Falls and its thin barrier between worlds, and decided that he needed to find somebody in the town to help him make his way through the barrier into it. So now that we got that, we can move on to Bill's actual appearances throughout different episodes. Bill makes his first actual appearance almost fully at the halfway point of the series in Season 1, Episode
Coconut
1,
malt.
Gleeful,
I forgot I did
making
that.
a deal with resident bitch Gideon Gleeful to hopefully take over.
You just got
Resident
coconut
bitch.
mold.
Yeah, I called him that
We are
again.
going to talk about Dreamscapers, but we got a lot of content to go over in this video, so I'm just going to take a detour real quick and just go over every plot-relevant character to make things easy. I also apologize in advance for the shitty audio. I did not know it sounded like this until I started editing. Okay, so the wheel. Okay, here we go. So, first up on our list, we have Sus Ramirez. This man works for the Mystery Shack and overall acts as kind of just a bumbling, oaf, goofy little character throughout the entirety of the series. We love Sus. Great guy, really entertaining fellow. He's friends with Dipper and Mabel along with Grunkle Stan. You get it. We're going to go through these rapid fire here because I'm pretty sure most people know what I'm talking about, but just in case not, I'm just going to go over them quick. Okay, right, as said, Sus. Then we have Wendy. Wendy Corduroy is the cashier.
You don't mind me
for
wearing
the
pajama
Mystery
pants
Shack
in
and
this? I
basically
think
acts
I
as
was.
Nah,
the
that's so
butler for
real.
the entirety of the series. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna skip.
This was last
Sam
night,
here
actually,
because we got a
like
lot
2
to talk
a.m.
about with him. Same for the we'll get to him later. So we'll skip them for now. Let's go to Dipper Pines first off. He, along with Mabel, who was the shooting star on this side here, are the protagonists of our show, and they will be the most prevalent characters that you see on a episode-to-episode basis. After them down the line, we have Gideon Gleeful. To the astute observers, yes, I did mention him previously. Gideon is the resident bitch. By this I mean he is going at every point in his life to fuck over Mabel, Dipper, and Stan. It's just what he does, but we love Gideon because he's entertaining as shit, and honestly, he's just kind of a funny character. He is evil though, so just keep that in mind. Yes, he is a child, but I digress, we can move on. Pacifica Northwest. Pacifica is Mabel's rival throughout the show and has a couple episodes where they touch on this specifically, but it's not exactly the biggest plot point throughout the series because, of course, it's not. But she is an important character because she shows up on the wheel, and everybody that shows up on the wheel is immensely important in some capacity. Moving on from this, as said, we already have covered Dipper, Mabel, pretty much everybody else other than a few certain fellows. So let's move down the wheel to Robbie. Robbie, last name I seem to have forgotten. Give me a second. That's right, Robbie Valentino, who I never actually heard that name, like, ever.
Give me a sec.
Seriously, is that just me? Like, I don't remember that shit at all. Anyway.
I don't either.
Robbie Valentino
I didn't
is
at all.
basically Wendy's love interest. I'd say that's the case because he does show up in many episodes kind of acting like that, but he's kind of just like the loser emo boyfriend that shows up in the show and it really wants to get back together but can't. Hell, he has an entire episode where he literally brainwashes Wendy with music that he's made because he wants her to love him. So, yeah, that's that. Now,
Situationship fail.
specifically, we have McGucket. Old man, Fiddleford Hadron McGucket. This man is exceedingly important through the entirety of the show. As a matter of fact, despite how much of a nonsensical character he seems to play, his actual plot relevance is completely, like, unhinged. Will I talk about him being unhinged in the plot? Yes. Will I talk about it now? Introducing critically acclaimed lawyer Saul Goodman. Okay, now that we got that out, I'm the first one to come into contact with Bill and
How dare you.
Gravity Falls using a magic
That was a
book.
totally one-off bit, too.
This book, one of
It was a
TEDY's
moment
various
thing.
journals shown throughout the show, were once written by an unknown author that seemed to know a great deal about the weirdness of Gravity Falls.
Coconut.
This will not come up.
Okay.
You can trust me on that because I'm a notorious liar. Gideon uses the powers of the book along with a magic amulet to control people's minds. Yada yada, you get it. He's a telepath. He cons people into thinking that he can read their minds because he can, and then he profits from it. Gideon's ultimate goal is to find all of the journals and use them to unlock what he thinks is unlimited power that he can then wield, and has a suspicion that our good old Grunkle Stan has a journal of his own in the Mystery Shack. His plan? Hire Bill to infiltrate Stan's mind, find the code to his safe containing the deed to the shack, and then steal it for himself to take the shack and find the journal on the shack's property. Gideon then enacts this plan by blatantly disregarding the journal's Bill's warnings to not summon Bill and summons him anyway. We are then greeted with one of my favorite villain introductions of all time.
Oh, I forget. There's a lot of show like clips in here.
I believe it. I believe it. Lucky you.
Yeah, there's tons.
Oh, Gravity Falls, it is good to be back.
The pizzazz, the smoothness, the pure fucking insanity of the deer teeth. This is how you make an insane character. No overdramatic speeches, no unneeded exposition, just pure, unadulterated chaos. Can you see why I like Bill now? So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here because I got a lot to talk about, and I don't think you guys need to hear the entirety of every episode's plot. This video is basically just about Bill, so I'm gonna give passing glances to pretty much most other characters unless they're just genuinely important when talking about them. So just keep that in mind. Oh, something to also note about Bill himself is that he is considered to be a
Oh yeah, I didn't go back and edit this. This will have more images
which is
after.
exactly why he can only help get
Don't worry, you're good.
Stan's dreams rather than just going to the safe in the shack and just finding the code directly. He doesn't have a physical form, with he himself being more.
Bill's just waiting for you to stop talking.
Yeah, no, he is.
Literally.
This will be
There we go.
later. Anyway, moving on. Dipper and Mabel go with Seuss into Stan's mind to follow Bill in hopes of stopping him from stealing the code to Stan's safe. They do this by following a spell that Dipper cast to enter Stan's mind that he learned from his own journal, that of which being journal number 3, which we see him constantly use throughout the show. So they follow Bill to Stan's mind,
That's
only
a
for
lie.
Bill to introduce himself by saying this to the group.
Ah, Stan's family, we meet at last. Question mark, shooting star, pine tree. I had a hunch I might bump into you.
Did you hear all that? Question mark? Shooting
Yeah, I
star,
had to cut
pine
it.
tree? Interesting.
If only people knew the truth, that hidden behind this vending machine, I secretly have
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you here. I don't have a lot of time. What does this mean? It means that there's gonna be a lot of still images. I'm not
This was me
gonna be
panicking earlier, trying to cram shit as fast as possible.
Yeah, okay, moving on from there and skipping ahead. Bill finds the code, to which Mabel manages to get it away from him before Gideon can hear the
Oh my
full thing.
goodness.
Bill
Oh
gets
my goodness.
incredibly pissed off at this and begins to fuck with Mabel and Seuss by showing them their own nightmares, with Mabel losing her cuteness and Seuss just being afraid of a fucking British talking dog. And then he prepares to
Scary.
literally kill the two of them. This is when Dipper shows up after having a talk with Stan in one of his memories, where he tells Dipper that you can do pretty much anything you want while in the mind, meaning that they're all technically at equal levels of power to Bill within Stan's mind. They fight with Bill a bit, and he eventually gets so fed up that he just rage quits, and then he eventually just lets them all know that he's impressed with how clever they all were for quote-unquote beating him, and then he concedes defeat. Before he leaves, though, he then drops some insane foreshadowing.
But know this.
A darkness approaches. A day will come in the future when everything you care about will change. Until then, I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you.
And then he disappears for another 5 episodes before making his next appearance. Now, the next episode Bill finds himself in is Season 2, Episode 4, Sock Opera, where Dipper spends his time trying to unlock a laptop he found that he believes belonged to the author of the journals after finding it in an apocalypse bunker
I've seen a
built by the
CMV
author.
reference
The
in
laptop
this.
has an 8-character password, with Dipper trying every possible combination he can to find the correct one, with him ultimately being unsuccessful at this because of fucking course he wouldn't be. There's trillions of combinations for that. After trying to figure out the password for days and nights on end with very little sleep, Dipper eventually becomes really weak and very sleep deprived. Dipper gets upset. He's frustrated, and reasonably so. Who would possibly know how to get this thing unlocked?
I think I know a guy.
This is where Bill's plan truly begins. He tries to butter up Dipper by being kind to him and saying that he can help him unlock the laptop, and offer that Dipper quickly declines before Bill takes his leave. But moving later into the episode, Dipper is greeted with something terrifying. A timer. A timer that, when elapsed, will fully erase the entirety of the laptop's contents in 5 minutes. Bill appears again and uses this to his advantage and tells Dipper that he needs to make up his mind, since he is now literally on the clock to make a decision on whether or not he'll make a deal with Bill. Dipper then asks what Bill could possibly want from him.
What crazy thing do you want anyway? To eat my soul? To rip out my teeth? Are you gonna replace my eyes with baby heads or something?
Yeesh, kid, relax. All I want is a puppet.
A puppet. Yeah, just a puppet. If you're curious why, Mabel's side plot for this episode consists of her putting on a puppet show to impress a guy named Gabe who she wants to be her boyfriend. So, typical Mabel shenanigans. Now, Bill does something smart here. He manipulates Dipper without him even realizing it, right as the clock is ticking down to 0 on the laptop. And so, seeing no other option, Dipper makes the deal.
Just one puppet? Fine! So what puppet are you gonna pick anyway?
Let's see.
Mm-mm.
Eeny,
Presentation
meeny,
night,
miny-
Teddy's.
What? Sorry, kid, but you're my puppet now.
Folks, I love this scene. Not only because of how well Bill is actually utilized as a character in it, but because of the things that we aren't actually explicitly told at all. For those who don't know, there was never a countdown on the laptop in the first place. The entire thing was an illusion specifically made by Bill for Dipper to see. It was only possible for him to do because Dipper was sleep deprived and had a weak mind leading up to his deal. Bill realized that if Dipper actually did manage to open the laptop, he'd be getting way too close to what he calls some major answers, and he can't risk that happening. So, because he makes this deal with Dipper, he manages to possess Dipper's body and destroys the laptop immediately upon taking control of him. After this, he plans on destroying Dipper's journal, something of which will leave him fully unstoppable if he manages to destroy the one remaining thing that can actually be a threat to him in any way. Now, I fleshed this portion of the episode out because I think it does the best job at characterizing Bill, so I just figured I'd let it be known that for the rest of the episode, and basically the next one, it'll be a lot shorter. For the rest of this episode, Bill spends his time interacting with our usual main characters as what Mabel calls Dipper. Dipper himself eventually realizes he needs a vessel of some sort to actually interact with the world after what Bill had done to him, essentially leaving him as just a ghost. Now, later in the episode, Dipper realizes he can possess things similar to Bill, so he takes control of one of Mabel's sock puppets to tell her what Bill was planning. After messing around with Dipper and forcing him to put on Mabel's puppet show in her absence, Mabel then
I don't know
goes to
why I
retrieve
sound
Dipper's journal
angrier
before
here.
Bill
I
can
noticed that when I
quickly
was
It's
destroy
because
it.
you are.
Unfortunately, the evil-stricken, triangle-possessed child manages to get the upper hand. That is before Mabel makes the sacrifice to ruin her puppet show to help Dipper. She basically exhausts Dipper's body, which causes Bill to also get exhausted, basically leading to him becoming so weak that Dipper then can repossess his body after Bill gets out of it. Wait, if Bill isn't possessing Dipper, Dipper isn't possessing Dipper, then who's piloting the child? Ladies and gentlemen, and all in between,
Then
this
who's
is a
flying the
dead
plane?
child shown to you on Disney Channel. There is not a soul in that body, making this a corpse. Anyway, Bill blows the fuck up with fireworks, so that's a cool end of the episode. So,
The
we're
box
at a
of
bit of an
puppets.
impasse now. I have to talk about some characters that aren't Bill for this section. I promise I'll make it as short as I can since we do still have a lot to get through.
If only people knew the truth.
Remember this clip? Age relevant again. Grunkle Stan is a character in this series that I love with a passion. He's crass, he's funny, he's ridiculous, and he has a fucking portal beneath his house that he works on at night as if that's a normal hobby for a person.
The
to have.
fuck?
I'm gonna summarize one of the greatest twists in cartoon history in the span of a couple paragraphs, so prepare yourselves here. This is gonna be probably the biggest spoiler I have to talk about for the show in its entirety, other than the ending, so if you haven't seen it and somehow have avoided spoilers up until this point, probably tune this video out for the next couple minutes. So Stan is arrested by the government after being charged with stealing barrels of nuclear waste to presumably power
I haven't
what
seen
the
much of the
government
show, but
believes
I'm
to
too
be a
invested now to
doomsday
back
weapon
out.
beneath the shack that can end
awesome.
the world as we know it. Dipper and Mabel, of course, do not believe
Someone
that
left.
Grunkle could ever do something like this and refuse to believe
I don't
the
know who it
agents
was.
that tell them this information, with the two then trying to search for evidence to clear Stan's name for the rest of the episode. Unfortunately, the two then come across literal footage of Stan taking the nuclear waste into the shack, along with dozens of fake IDs that show Stan to be not what he seems. Oh, would you look at that? That's the name of the episode this comes from. Yeah, so this doomsday device is
Running out of
actually a
time.
full-on interdimensional
I
portal that can only be activated once
was.
every single journal is brought together and turned into their respective pages that describe how to operate the machine. After
Started
defeating
working on this at
Gideon in a
like 10
previous
a.m. today.
episode and learning of Dipper's journal, Stan can
Wow.
now do what he had been trying to do
Ow,
for
my nose.
30 years. Use his journal number 1 in tandem with the other two journals to activate the portal. He then succeeds with this, with his efforts almost getting cut short by Dipper, Mabel, and Seuss, with the portal only ever properly activating due to Mabel trusting that Grunkle Stan is a good person and wouldn't want to actually destroy
I
the portal.
promise this won't be
trust in
over
Stan allows
soon.
the portal to activate with
It's
all
okay,
its
I'm
Other
invested.
things will be shown.
As the portal finishes its activation and falls apart,
Okay, I'm not
a
gonna
man
lie.
steps through
I
it
got
as
work
it
really
were.
early tomorrow.
Stan then tells
Your
the
video
world
so far was
what
great.
we had all been waiting for.
It was phenomenal, Teddy. Thank you. Y'all
Wait,
take care.
why don't you pause it real quick? Boom!
Bro fist at the
You
end?
make. Yeah, I fisted my bro. Continue the video.
Oh, I see. He immediately plays it.
Also,
comment on it.
Also, hi, Crows.
There we go.
What? Who is that?
The author of the journals. My brother.
Stanford Pines, the author of the journals and the main man with ties to Bill. Now, I'm not going to go over his lore too deeply here because we do still have to get a move on here, but I will at least give you the highlights.
That man
Stanford
is
and his
now on
twin
my
brother,
cosplay
Stanley
list.
Pines, aka our Grunkle Stan,
He is
had
the
both had a
best.
falling
I
out with one
love
another
Ford.
after Stanley cost Stanford his chance at attending his dream college. When Stanford is accepted into another university, he then meets his college roommate, one Fiddleford McGucket. Now, fast forward to the end of his college years, and Ford wants to look into the anomalous parts of the world, a fascination that had been completely instilled within him after he had been born with 6
Chuckling.
fingers on each of his hands. So he searches, and then he finds Gravity Falls. In his time there, he discovers, well, a fucking lot, actually. He finds weird creatures, strange objects, supernatural occurrences, and most of all, Bill. Ford and Bill's relationship began when Bill showed himself to Ford in a dream, with Bill basically convincing Ford that he could unlock the secrets of the multiverse if he built an interdimensional gateway to access it. So, to complete this project, Ford then enlists the help of McGucket to help build the portal, as McGucket was, and still is, an incredibly talented inventor and is very skilled with computers. So the two work together on building the portal, with Bill helping as well, occasionally popping into Stanford's mind while he would sleep to continue working on the portal and make it a reality. When it came time to test it, though, McGucket accidentally got a little too close to the portal and nearly got sucked in. After being pulled out, he then immediately starts speaking in backwards and is entirely traumatized at what he had seen in Bill's dimension on the other side of the portal. This causes McGucket to immediately quit working on the project and leave, with him basically creating a memory gun down the line to help him forget the traumatizing shit he had seen on that portal when it activated. And just so you know, this eventually snowballs him into forming that one memory erasing secret society, the Society of the Blind Eye. I mentioned them at the start. So that's a little fun fact for you. Anyway, past this point, Ford calls up Stanley to help after not seeing him for nearly a decade. In simple terms, they have a falling out that results in Stanford being pulled.
Hopefully this one ends soon.
I swear this will
Okay,
have
don't
proper
worry,
visuals.
don't worry.
Finding the
You're
journals
good,
that
don't
were
worry.
hidden in an attempt to stop the portal from ever being reactivated. Okay, everybody got that? Cool. Now we can continue
No.
with Bill's actual episode.
Oh shit,
So
okay.
Bill's next proper appearance occurs in season 2, episode 15, The Last Mabel Corn, and basically consists of Mabel going with her friends and Wendy to retrieve a hair of a unicorn to help Bill proof the Mystery Shack. They do this only after Ford warns everybody that Bill is on his way because he had a dream where Bill confronted him directly and told him he had big plans coming and that nothing was going to stop him. He specifically mentions a rift in space-time that Ford has in his custody because the portal left that behind as a result of its activation. This rift was now Bill's primary means of accessing the real world, so he would do anything he could to get it. After Mabel returns with a unicorn hair and they all successfully Bill-proof the Mystery Shack, Bill realizes he can't influence anyone inside the Mystery Shack anymore. So, what is his plan now exactly?
I guess I can't possess anyone inside the shack, so I'll just have to find my next pawn on the outside.
Dipper and Mabel versus the Future is an episode
What a
that happens
teaser.
at the very end of the series.
I
before the
know,
finale,
right?
hinges on the
I fucking love that end
Dipper and
credits.
Mabel, with the two having a falling out after Dipper shows interest in staying with Ford in Gravity Falls, rather than entering into high school with Mabel and experiencing it with her. While a ton happens in this episode, it all leads up to one primary plot point that matters: the shattering of the rift. On the tail end of an argument that Dipper and Mabel had had before Mabel ran off, Mabel grabbed one of their two identical backpacks that they had been carrying throughout the episode. What Dipper hadn't realized, though, was that Mabel had accidentally taken Dipper's backpack rather than her own, the one containing the fucking rift that can bring Bill Cipher into the real world. This, of course, happens.
I don't know why I
right
sounded so
before Ford and
concerned.
Dipper can permanently fix
I
it,
wonder why
as
you
the
were.
case that
I
they
wonder
had
why.
actually started to crack.
It's bringing Bill Cipher into the real world.
Oh
We don't
no.
want
A
that.
crack in a piece of glass. They enter into a UFO and then try to search for an adhesive made by aliens because it is the strongest glue in the known universe and can patch a hole in the rift. I love this show. I fucking love this show. So, as said, Mabel mistakenly took the rift and runs off because she is, well, generally having the single worst day that she's ever had. As she feels scared and vulnerable about summer coming to an end and being afraid of entering high school alone, a man confronts her in the woods. This man, this fellow here, it's Justin Roiland.
I knew that.
Is this some kind of sick joke? This chicanery? In actuality, this is a time traveler that was shown in a few previous episodes named, and you gotta bear with me here, Benjamin Blandon, who is now here to help Mabel. He tells her that because she had once helped him with that happening in a previous episode, that he would be willing to help her out by extending her summer, since she didn't want to end just yet. Blandon tells her that he can put the town into what's basically a time bubble to stop time from moving through it, telling Mabel that he can make it work so long as he gets a certain piece of tech from her uncle. that of which being the rift. Mabel, none the wiser, sees the rift in her backpack and just gives it to Blendon. And then, in a moment that had been prophesied for literally over 1 billion years, Blendon drops the rift.
I loved watching these episodes when they came out.
It was Bill the whole time. He had finally won.
That was a bit loud.
Weird Mageddon is
No,
a
it's
3-part
good.
finale that ends off Gravity Falls, and it is one of my favorite finales to any piece of media on the planet, hands down. Because we have to quickly go through the rest of this, and because I certainly don't have time to cover all of it, I am going to make this relatively quick. Bill's entire plan was to make his way into our dimension through the portal to cause chaos and live forever while partying in the real world. He succeeds in entering reality, to which he starts an apocalypse he aptly names Weird Mageddon, terrorizing the town while partying with his henchmaniacs, as he calls them, in a castle that he just spawned in because he can. As they're partying, the time police show up, because of course they do, and they come to rock Bill's world after possessing one of their officers. He then does this.
Surrender now or face my
Okay, time, baby.
Oh no, a tantrum! Whatever will I do about that? How about this?
You have just watched Bill Cipher disintegrate a baby on Disney Channel. After doing this, Bill feels pretty good about himself.
Duly noted.
It's finally time that he and his gang should take over the rest of the world, so they go to do just that. That's when yet another piece of foreshadowing I put into this video comes into play. Do you remember at the start of this video when I said that an invisible barrier surrounds the town and keeps everything weird inside it? Well, it seems like that also applies to Bill and his goons. Bill is, understandably, pissed at this. How can you be a being of infinite power and yet you're simultaneously stopped by what is essentially a magic wall? There's only one man who can figure out how to fix this.
Let me go, you insane three-sided... What is this place?
Yeah, this was over well.
Meet again, you're a whore, you like men, This is then when Bill asks Ford.
It's a great impression.
Ford is the only
Thank you.
person who would ever have
That
any
was
idea
fun.
on how to actually take down the barrier that's holding him in the town. Now, despite Ford fully knowing how to
I
actually
thought that was
collapse the
actually
barrier,
Alex
he
for a sec.
understandably does not want to help Bill at all. So what does Bill do when he hears this? He tortures him. What do the rest of the main characters do while this is happening? Well, they do what anybody would do if your uncle was kidnapped by an ancient dream demon. McGucket works with everyone to turn the Mystery Shack into a fucking piloted mech that acts as a walking set of references for
I would do
various
this.
episodes from the show.
Yeah.
The shit out of Bill with it. This is fucking awesome. Well, unfortunately, the fun has to end at some point because having an invulnerable unicorn hair enforced magic shield is no match for having legs that aren't protected by the same shield. Bill gets the upper hand after this and takes down the Shack robot. The roster of main characters were only using the mech as a diversion, however, because all of them ended up launching themselves into Bill's pyramid to find Ford and rescue him. They all end up finding him pretty easily, and then he reveals something to all of them. The Zodiac Wheel that we've all become accustomed to over this video has actually been a prophecy this entire time, with each symbol of the wheel corresponding with a specific main character. With all the characters in one place, they all have the ability to join hands atop the Zodiac Wheel and use its power to vanquish Bill for good. So they all stand on the Zodiac and begin the ritual to defeat Bill, but are interrupted by one thing: Stanley. This fucks everything up. In simple terms, he doesn't want to stand next to Ford and hold his hand because Ford had never thanked Stanley for spending 3 decades trying to bring him back to fix his mistake of sending Ford into the portal in the first place. Which, you know, yeah, that's fair. If I spent 3 decades trying to bring back my sibling, I would damn hope that they said thank you. Anyway, as expected, this interruption leads to the Zodiac not working, and then Bill comes back after having won against the Shack mech. Our main characters then decide to be courageous and show Bill who's boss, to which he then turns them into a bunch of fucking tapestries, just because he can. Yeah, so after seeing this, Mabel and Dipper both decide that this would be a great time to fuck with Bill. So Mabel sprays spray paint in his eye before the two run off. Bill then utters a line that I actually cannot
I'm so ready.
believe is
Oh, yeah.
genuinely in a Disney Channel cartoon.
Not so fast. You two wait here. I've got some children I need to make into corpses.
There was a bunch of stuff about Gravity Falls having to fight with the Disney censors throughout trying to get the show on the air, and I genuinely recommend anybody goes and looks at it, but I just like, how? How the genuine hell did they get that line through? Hell, Ford even says that it's a suicide mission to take on Bill alone in that episode right before this happens.
Run! We'll take care of Bill.
What? That's a suicide mission.
How did these both get in there? Just crazy to me. So Bill chases them, captures them, brings them back to Stanton Ford, and then gives an ultimatum about literally killing one of the kids just for the heck of it. Right as he counts down to see which he will kill, Ford then finally gives in and accepts Bill's deal to help him escape the town so long as Stanley and the kids are kept safe. And so, as Bill finally realizes that he is going to win, he shakes hands with Ford.
Oh, I'm here. I'm finally here. Look at this place. A perfect, calm, orderly void. Gotta hand it to you, Ford. You really know how to clear your... What?
That's right. It was never Ford at all. Stanley cosplayed his own brother after they switched clothes, with Bill being none the wiser, and the two had a perfect plan. Erase Stanley's mind with Bill.
I don't know why I made this so cinematic.
Memory done.
Because it is.
It is cinematic.
All the deal making, it
You wanted to get monetized.
this.
Absolute cinema.
Only. Thank you.
And then
What?
the series ends.
Really? Look, you know, I actually had a lot more to add here, but we are already at the 30-minute mark, and I can't just throw in another 15 minutes of footage, especially not when the presentation night is in 30 fucking minutes. So how do I end this off in a way that makes any logical sense? You know what? I think I know exactly.
Spam to G spam to.
That's what you
It's been a
sent
while
them.
since we've had one of these. I think you know what time it is. It is time for the fucking rip rap!
Oh, yeah.
God damn it.
Let's go!
Yeah.
We got the shiny version!
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good. I was like, well, Bill has blue
Collecting
fire.
great,
So.
like Pokemon cards now.
It's so fucking stupid.
Why do you do this to me?
You were the one who wanted the video to be taken.
I fucking love this group chat.